Good morning. This is Ms. Bansky with your first mini lesson of the week. I hope that you had a good weekend and that you've gotten off to a good start with your virtual learning. Let's get started with today's lesson. So last week we talked about how main idea is kind of like the cone in an ice cream cone. It holds the details in place. Without details, a main idea isn't very valuable, just like without ice cream, an ice cream cone isn't very valuable. The details are like the scoops of ice cream. They support the main idea. They give the main idea purpose, right? You can have ice cream without an ice cream cone, but you it's better if you have the cone with the ice cream. Okay, so our first passage that we're looking at today is called Pyramids. And you'll notice that this passage is a little bit different than ones that we've looked at in the past. It doesn't have as much of a formula for finding the supporting details as texts we've looked at previously. So I'm going to read it for us right now. People once thought that the great Egyptian pyramids were built by slaves, but recent discoveries show the pyramids were probably built by skilled craftsmen. To build the pyramids, people had to apply skills in geometry and architecture and move large blocks of stone. Building the pyramids took time and experienced tradespeople. Okay, so the main idea of this passage is that people once thought that the great Egyptian pyramids were built by slaves. Now, what this main idea is suggesting is that people no longer think this, right? It says that people once thought that the great Egyptian pyramids were built by slaves, but now they think something else. And the detail that shows this in the text is this. To build the pyramids, people had to apply skills in geometry and architecture and move large blocks of stone. As we know from our own history lessons, people who were enslaved were not given the same opportunities as people who weren't. They weren't able to learn how to read or write. And so this text is saying that it's unlikely that slaves built the pyramids because slaves would not have had the education that was necessary to build those kinds of structures. But you'll notice that this text only has one supporting detail to prove its claim. Sometimes it's not going to be as obvious as it's been in the past. Sometimes you're going to have to dig a little bit to find the supporting details for your main idea. So this is the text that we're going to look at for your exit ticket today. This text is called Road Markings, and I'm going to read it for you now. Have you ever noticed that there are many different markings on the road? These markings keep drivers safe. White lines along the edge of the road show where the road ends. White or yellow dashed lines mark the different lanes. A double yellow line tells you that traffic will be going in the other direction on the other side. So normally, I have been giving you supporting details from the text and asking you to identify the main idea based on the supporting details. This week, we're going to do the opposite of that. So here we have the main idea of this text, which is that the many different markings on the road keep drivers safe. So your responsibility in your exit ticket today is to use this passage to answer this question. What are three supporting details from the text that support the main idea listed in the slideshow? So we say here that the main idea is the many different markings on the road keep drivers safe. What are the three supporting details from this list of answers that prove that to be true? All right, that's all I have for you today. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks. Bye.